and that was in the year 1976. Peggy was 46 years old and suffered a severe heart attack. And we got her to the hospital, and she was one of the first open heart surgeries done in Philadelphia. The doctor was a son-in-law of Dr.
DeBakey?
DeBakey.
Yeah, the son-in-law of DeBakey from Texas that did her. His name is Lamal, Dr. Lamal.
DeBakey's son-in-law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Terrific surgeon. He was 33 and chief of staff at Temple Cardiology in that year,
And what year was this?
1976. She was one of the first 10 open heart in Philadelphia.
And was this double or triple?
It's the
Single.
main one.
Descending artery.
Single bypass.
Yeah, but the main one, the one that goes on and bifurcates all the rest of them, she had a plug. And never had high cholesterol, but heart problems are in her family. She had a brother that had a heart transplant and lived 4 years after that transplant. Mother died of heart. Father died at 62, heart attack. Sister died at, what, about 65? 68, heart attack. And,
Well, what made you want to be a veterinarian in the first place? I mean, were
I
you an
didn't wanna
animal
be
lover?
No, I was, but I didn't want to be a practitioner. I wanted to go to D.C. and work in rural health. That's what Dr. Burney had set for me. He was my mentor and one of my professors in public health at IU Medical Center. And that's why he said, let's go to vet school. Then you can work for me. I will be Surgeon General. And by golly, he was, but died 2 months before graduation. So I lost my political contact, and that was it.
So
And in desperation, I went to the dean's office and threw open the book, and there was West Grove, PA, Dr.
Wolford.
Herb Wolford. And I said, I'll give him a call. Went out and interviewed with him and got the job. And at the end of the year, he had said there was not enough business here to support 2 veterinarians. So we would go back to Indiana and set up practice by Crawfordsville. But we stayed and raised our family out there and set up practice, and it worked out nicely for us.
And you, I mean, part of your motivation was, I mean, you enjoyed working with animals.
Oh, sure.
More than with people, apparently.
No, because remember one thing. You treat the animal,
But you deal with the people.
you deal with the people. So you have to sell yourself
If all
to
you
the
had-
person
right.
and not the dog. So,
Didn't you start with large animals?
yeah, combination. Always did all. But the first 10 years was about 50% large, 50% small. And then the small
Like
got
farm
so
animals.
big. Yes, yeah. Horses, cows, sheep, goats, you name it. They were there.
Alpaca? No alpaca.
None at that time.
No.
You really have to love what you're doing, or else you're going to fail in practice like that. Because the people have to know you love what you're doing, or they're going to go someplace else. There's always another veterinarian down the road a couple of miles. So as I said before, you sell yourself to your clientele, not to the animal. But the animal just falls into place with your clientele, and that's what makes it so nice. We're a 3-person practice, not like the MD. It's person to person, for person to person and animal. That's a 3rd person involved. Totally different than human medicine. It really is.
Probably
And I think a lot
somewhat
more.
like being a pediatrician, though.
Exactly. Other words, you cared, and I could have been a pediatrician in a heartbeat because it's very similar, almost the same. And we knew enough about medicine.
You just don't have to shave the children quite as much.
Some probably.
Right. Once they become teenagers.
Yeah.
No, but it was fun anyway.
And you were involved in the practice as well.
Absolutely,
I mean, you were a
yes.
partner.
Yes, I considered myself a partner. I took all the phone calls, made all the appointments until we hired a secretary.
Yeah.
And then later on, as the kids grew up, we built a country dog house where we sold pet supplies and
Separately and had the pharmacy.
had a pharmacy for
Yeah.
the animals. And I ran that. I managed that. And yes, it was a partnership all the way.
And through all this, how many pets did you maintain of your own?
Oh God.
Oh my! We always had dogs. Always had cats.
Sheep, bunny rabbits,
Goat.
goat. We had it.
We always were with animals.
Yeah. And which did you? What was your favorite species? Dog, cat, goat, cow, or child?
Actually,
Did you have a preference of the animals
Yeah.
over any of
I
your own
loved the
children,
cat.
or did
No,
your own children always come
the
first?
family came
Children
first.
came first.
Cats came second, and pretty close to that second were the dogs. But cats were always, I think, my favorite.
Really?
So,
Oh yeah, working with the cats.
No kidding. You mean you actually liked cats?
Oh yeah.
Favored cats over dogs?
Well, it's very close, but we were about 50-50 in practice. Believe me, 50% cats, 50% dogs. That's how heavy they were in that area.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So after about 8 to 10 years,
Right.
the small animal had grown to a point where if I kept both, I would not be home at all. It was from 4 o'clock in the morning for the milk fevers on the cows till 9 to 10 o'clock at night doing the sprays for the next day. So
The
I
expression
had,
"till the cows come home."
exactly. What you do at that point in time is put your criteria in a different mode. For example, I was lighting the family. I was taking care of the cows and the dogs. So what could I do? Only 2 of those parts, not the family, could be adjusted. So I had to go where I can spend more time with the family and experience veterinary medicine that I really truly enjoyed, and that was a small animal. So I leaned to that. Within a year, the practice had built up enough for me to sustain my family with just a small animal. It takes time to do that, but we
Right,
did. And we
right.
built the hospital, and we had the room. We expanded the hospital after 5 years, doubled the size.
So, once again, in addition to your life as a housewife and a business partner, you also spent time as an actress, pursuing other interests. Tell me about that.
well, in my free time, I was very interested in community theater, and I think I started my daughter on her career by having her be in a couple of plays with me, Tea House of the August Moon, and Great Big Doorstep,
Yeah.
and we had fun together.
And who got better reviews?
I think my daughter did.
No.
And you're still doing it.
Yes, I'm still with community theater. Actually, Oak Run Theater right now.
Uh-huh. Are you looking for an agent?
Not exactly. One play a year, that's enough for me.